Imagine a world where Nazi Germany, under the leadership of Adolf Hitler, never initiated Operation Barbarossa, the infamous attack on the Soviet Union in 1941. Hitler, known for his aggressive expansionist policies, decides against breaking the Nazi-Soviet Pact, a non-aggression agreement signed in 1939. This decision dramatically shifts the course of World War II. Instead of spreading its forces across a vast Eastern Front, Germany focuses its military might elsewhere, potentially intensifying conflicts in other areas. The preservation of the Nazi-Soviet Pact also alters the dynamics of international diplomacy. The USSR remains neutral, at least for the time being, creating a different balance of power. A possible consequence? Britain, already under severe pressure, might find itself facing even more German attacks. The aftermath of this decision would undoubtedly be felt far and wide, reshaping the global landscape. As 1941 draws to a close in our alternate timeline, the world faces a different future. As we move into 1942, our alternate timeline presents a new set of challenges and possibilities. With the Eastern Front non-existent, the German High Command turns its attention to other strategic targets. Britain, standing alone against the Nazi war machine, becomes the primary focus. Imagine German U-boats and battleships prowling the Atlantic, Luftwaffe bombers darkening the skies over London, and panzer divisions amassing along the Channel coast. The Battle of Britain could escalate to unprecedented levels, with the German military throwing everything they have at the beleaguered island nation. Meanwhile, as we look southwards, we see the deserts of North Africa transform into a major battlefield. Rommel's Africa Corps, now reinforced with troops and equipment spared from the Eastern Front, could launch a more potent offensive against the Allies. The Suez Canal, the lifeline to India and the Far East, and the oil-rich Middle East could become the new prizes in this global conflict. Both these scenarios underscore the strategic importance of these regions in our alternate timeline. With Germany's military might undivided, the stakes are higher than ever. As the curtain falls on 1941, the world braces for a dramatically different 1942. As we journey into 1942 and 1943, the absence of the Eastern Front dramatically alters the course of World War II. Without the burden of a two-front war, Germany's military resources are now free to be diverted elsewhere. Imagine the potential redirection of manpower, machinery, and material that would otherwise have been entrenched in the bitter cold of the Soviet winter. The Battle of the Atlantic could have been prolonged, with the Kriegsmarine possibly receiving a much-needed boost. This may have threatened Britain's lifeline to North America, intensifying the struggle for control of the sea lanes. North Africa and the Middle East, with their strategic locations and oil resources, could have become the new focus of Germany's war effort. An intensified campaign here might have tipped the balance of power in the region and potentially altered the course of the entire war. With the additional resources, an earlier invasion of the British Isles may even have been on the cards. This would have posed a significant threat to Britain and may have hastened the entry of the United States into the war. In this alternate timeline, the absence of Operation Barbarossa could have allowed Germany to concentrate its forces, leading to a very different World War II. By the end of 1943, the world map could look dramatically different, with Germany's focus shifted away from the Soviet Union. As we move into the final stages of the war, the absence of the Eastern Front continues to influence events. In this alternate timeline, D-Day, the pivotal invasion of Normandy, may have unfolded differently. Without the Soviet Union absorbing German forces on the Eastern Front, the Allies might have faced a stronger resistance on the beaches. Would they have succeeded? That's a question for the ages. Now let's consider the Holocaust, one of the darkest chapters in human history. With more resources potentially available, could the Nazis have accelerated their final solution? Or on the contrary, might the absence of the Eastern Front, with its brutal battlefields and large-scale deportations, have somehow slowed down this genocide? We can only speculate. As the war draws to a close, the absence of a Soviet-occupied Eastern Europe could significantly alter the post-war landscape. Imagine a world without the Iron Curtain, without the stark division between East and West. Could the Cold War have been averted in this alternate universe? And what about the nuclear arms race? Without the pressure of Soviet competition, would the United States have been as eager to develop and maintain a nuclear arsenal? Yet we must also consider the fate of Europe's Jewish population. In the absence of Soviet liberation of concentration camps, would more lives have been lost? Or could the Allies have acted sooner to end their suffering? These are sobering questions with no easy answers. The butterfly effect of Germany not invading the Soviet Union might have also impacted the formation of the United Nations, the decolonization process, and even the formation of the European Union. The geopolitical landscape could have been rewritten, with nations rising and falling in different patterns. In our alternate timeline, World War II and its aftermath could have unfolded in dramatically different ways, reshaping the world as we know it. In this brief exploration of an alternate history, we've seen how a single decision could have changed the course of history. The non-aggression between Germany and the Soviet Union could have reshaped the geopolitical landscape, military strategies, and the fate of millions. It underscores the complexity of history, a web of decisions, outcomes, and unforeseen consequences. While we can never know how this alternate history would have truly unfolded, it offers a fascinating glimpse into the myriad possibilities of our past. Now that we've delved into this compelling alternate reality, we're eager to know your perspective. What do you think would have unfolded had Germany chosen not to attack the Soviet Union during World War II? Would the outcome of the war be different? Would the global political landscape have evolved differently? We invite you to share your thoughts in the comments section below. Remember, history is not just about the past, but also about understanding the present and envisioning the future.